Hey, everybody, welcome to Hearing God in John chapter 16. And my highlight today comes from the second half of verse 20 through verse 22. And the context is this: Jesus is talking to his disciples, he's preparing them for his departure, which is a weighty subject for them. And they're anticipating that this is going to be full of sorrow and full of anguish. And Jesus agrees with them that, yes, momentarily you will have sorrow and anguish, but hang on, because things are going to get much, much better. And so in the second half of verse 20, Jesus says, "You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will turn into joy." When a woman is giving birth, she has sorrow because her hour has come. But when she has delivered the baby, she no longer remembers the anguish for joy that a human being has been born into the world. So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you. I always smile when I come across this passage because it reminds me of a time in a sermon. I was talking about the process of creating a sermon, and I likened it to a woman going through childbirth. And the women, the moms in the congregation, they just weren't having it. They were saying, "You have no idea what you're talking about." And of course, they're absolutely right, and probably was not the best analogy that I could have used. And so hopefully I've learned from that, and grown to appreciate that childbirth is a unique anguish. Here it's referred to as even a momentary sorrow because it is so painful, it is so difficult. And so Jesus tells his disciples, it's going to be like that for you, at least momentarily. It's going to feel that painful. But like that mom going through the childbirth, she has a short memory. When that child comes and the childbirth is done, she kind of forgets about just how difficult and how painful it was. So much so that for some women, they go on to have further children because they have short memories that way, or because the joy of having that child is just even so much greater than the anguish and the pain that they went through to have the child. And so Jesus promises to his disciples that, yep, it's going to be painful, but hang on to the promise that I'm giving you. I promise you that one day that sorrow is going to turn into joy. And it's going to be so great that the joy is going to be so great, you're even going to forget just how painful it was now. And by way of application, I need to be reminded of this on a regular basis. I think, like others, I can get into navel gazing. I can get into focusing on the difficulties of my circumstances and let those overwhelm me, that becomes the focus. And Jesus says, hey, there's a better way. Rather than doing this, lift up your head to look ahead to the promise that I am giving to you. For the disciples, it was the promise of the coming of the Holy Spirit, who would be their helper, but also the return of Jesus, which is to come. And they will be reunited, and they will be able to celebrate that together. I think of a couple other passages that refer to this. Romans 8:18 says, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time," and I find it interesting that it acknowledges that, yes, there is suffering in this present time, but then it says, "are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us." Very consistent. And then 2 Corinthians 4:17 through 18. They'd go so far as to say, "For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal." And so when our heads are down like this and we're focused on the struggle and on the anguish and the pain, we're focusing on the things that are seen, those things which are right in front of us. And Jesus challenges us, the Apostle Paul challenges us to lift up our heads and to see which is unseen, which is the promise that Jesus gives to us, that there's going to be a joy and a fulfillment that's going to far outweigh any of the struggles that we are presently having, just like the woman in childbirth. And so my response, my prayer: Father, help me to shift my eyes upward. Help me to see that which is unseen. Remind me continually of the joy that is sure to come. And please encourage my brothers and sisters who may be struggling today. And so hopefully that's an encouragement and a help to you today. Thank you for joining me with John chapter 16, and I look forward to joining you again soon.